Alright, I'm back with another Destiny video. There's always going to be a lot to talk about for the next couple of weeks here at least, because the new expansion is just getting started. Season of the Hunt doesn't really even start till next week, so whatever's going on with the Crow and Osiris, we'll figure out then. Until then, there was a lot going on just from the baseline Beyond Light expansion. I sort of did an early review, but I wanted to talk about what is effectively the main addition to the game with this expansion, which is, of course, Stasis as a new elemental subclass. It's not a truly new elemental class because it's not really integrated into the weapon system. Like there's one Stasis weapon, the exotic grenade launcher, and that's really it. I don't know if that's going to happen later, if enemies will have like Stasis shields and we'll have Stasis weapons to counter them, or if we're going to stay with the main three because that's just a little simpler, and then Stasis will be reserved for special occasions. I don't know. We'll see. So for now, it's just a subclass. I really have enjoyed the process of unlocking it. I liked how you got little bursts of it in the campaign, and then you finish the campaign to get it, and then you do these aspect and fragment quests post-campaign, and then you will be able to do more of them as the season goes on. So really what we're getting now is not even the full potential of Stasis, because we all only have one specific aspect for each class unlocked, and there's going to be at least two. I don't know how many aspects there are total that you might be able to switch out. We have seen 6 fragments, so I'm guessing those are kind of the 6 fixed ones to start with, and then you could get all of those over the course of 3 weeks. You could get 2 this week. I kind of stress about which ones to choose, but I mean, it seems like it won't be that hard to get them over the longer term, at least once I figured out that you can finish champions by using the Stasis subclass, and that counts as Stasis champion kills. So that's a tip for you in your Nightfalls, and it works in Lost Sectors too, I think. This video, as you can see from the thumbnail, is called The Problem with Stasis. This is not going to be a big rant about PvP. I think that is a whole separate topic because it's just like it's such on another level of like broken and weird and like totally antithetical to Destiny PvP that I don't even almost know where to start. I was on Fireteam chat this week, and Destin was saying that he thinks that Stasis should just not be in PvP at all. Travis was saying that like maybe there's ways to scale it back, or like maybe you don't get fully frozen. I don't know what the answer is, but I know it is a major problem that was predicted kind of from the start, and it is genuinely hard to see a way that like being frozen or even being heavily slowed all the time with all these different moves in PvP is really ever gonna be able to be balanced in any meaningful way. And it doesn't really feel like they shipped it like trying to balance it for PvP very much at all. That's a whole other topic that I can't really go into. Like, I don't know, because I think we need to figure out if there are any counters to Stasis besides Stasis in PvP, and there may be some tweaks and stuff coming, but that's like a whole other thing. For now, I want to talk about Stasis in PvE, and why I think it's also problematic in PvE right now because of the way it launched. In short, it's not only too good, it's like it's too fun compared to all the other subclasses, to the point where I don't know why you would really ever want to be using anything else. I know for like in certain circumstances, like okay, for the raid you're still probably going to need a well, and you're still going to need a Titan bubble, and maybe you'll need a golden gun with Celestial Nighthawk or something. Like it's not like some DPS boss killing monster. Like it is mostly about crowd control and mob clearing and things like that. However, it's like it's so good at that stuff, and because of both the new kind of Stasis freeze slow crystal shatter system and the fact that you had the entirely new subclass design with aspects and fragments and all this customization, it's on another level that the other subclasses just can't match. Like we have when you pick another subclass, you have a little node, and there's 4 little like triangles that you can't customize, and like some of those have some good effects, sure, but is it anything like Stasis? It's not even close. Like the whole mechanic of creating these crystals and shattering them and freezing enemies and shattering the enemies and shards shooting out, like all the other elements don't have anything like this. To this point, the other elements have not really been elements. Like Solar has some burn damage ticks in like a very very limited amount of its skills, maybe some explosive things like the Hunter exploding knife. Arc has some chain lightning abilities, but it's not anything crazily significant, except for maybe arc web. And then Void is, I don't know, suppression. Sometimes it's like poison smoke. It doesn't really have an identity. But Stasis is this really hardcore base of these crystals and shattering, freezing, and all that stuff, and made exponentially more crazy the more aspects and fragments you can unlock and different ways you can slot that into builds. And people don't even have all the new exotics yet. Like it's a lot, and I'm running some gameplay here that I recorded earlier. I'm not sure if recording played out exactly how I wanted, but like it is just so stupidly fun to like be running a Stasis subclass that it just puts everything else to shame. And I do think it's kind of weird and not ideal that Stasis launched without all of these other subclasses having a similar design system with the different aspects and fragments. Like, I understand how much work probably went into Stasis, but thinking about, you could obviously think about how this system could translate into other elements. It's just now that I'm wondering, like, when is this coming? And, like, when is this actually going to be integrated into the game? Like, in a perfect world, we would get one new subclass redesign at the beginning of, like, the next 3 seasons, and then, as heavily hinted at, we'll get another Darkness subclass when the Witch Queen rolls around. That seems overly ambitious to me based on the current state of Bungie developing things. Like maybe they've done more work behind the scenes, and maybe they were going to roll out all 4 classes at once, and they just had to kind of delay it. But I don't know. I am concerned with if that doesn't happen, I'm concerned with the state of the game over the course of the next year, because I don't know what can possibly hope to match these new subclasses. Like they're strong, and like maybe they're not the best for boss DPS or raid strats, but like in general use, they are wildly, amazing, and they're just plain fun. Like I don't know why you would not want to be using them both in PvE and in PvP because it's so strong there. So that is what I think Bungie is going to have to overcome. Otherwise, we're going to have a year of the game essentially having one subclass with the others as kind of afterthoughts that you might use to complete bounties or weekly powerful rewards or something. But it's a very strange situation. So I'm hoping that we get more clarity on what is going to happen with the other subclass redesigns soon, and that we don't have to wait an entire year to see that. We'll see. I don't know how far along they are, but for now, I can really see that being a potential problem. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. But those are my brief thoughts on the state of Stasis right now. I might write this up into an article, so for one of the first times, you might be getting an early preview of that. So yeah, I'll have plenty more to talk about. I'm going to take a little break and play some Spider-Man Miles Morales on PS5, because I've done all 3 quests, like full Beyond Darkness, or whatever it's called, Forged in Darkness, I don't remember. I've done all those quests for all 3 characters now, so I'm just kind of reduced to grinding primes and my last few powerfuls and stuff, and I'm not doing a raid race, so I don't really care about that. But yeah, I'll also be playing it this week. It's hard to stay away from because I'm just having a good time with it, but yeah, lots more to talk about later. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you later.